Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on getting to know Jacksonville. I hope everyone can hear me. So good afternoon. If you guys who are joining us can just type in your chat message box on the left and let me know that you can hear me, and just kind of tell me where you're from and we can get an idea of who's joining us today. I know we've got some attendees, so if you guys can just let me know where you're from and that you can hear me, that'd be perfect. Okay, great. Ryan can hear me. He's from Georgia. Michael can hear me. Perfect. Okay, good. Getting some feedback there that you guys can hear me. Audio is good. Perfect. Then we'll go ahead and get started. So I kind of just wanted everyone to get an idea of what Jacksonville has to offer. So those of you who are already accepted and are looking to start here in the fall, you only have a couple months, and you guys can kind of get an idea of what it's going to be like to live in the Jacksonville area. And for those of you who are still considering law school and considering different places to live, this will be a great way to kind of get an introduction into what it might be like to live in Jacksonville and kind of experience the community while you are in school. So first we have Patty Jimenez, who's joining us from Visit Jacksonville, and they are a great organization. I visit the website oftentimes to give my prospective students lots of information on things that they can do in the area. So I'm really excited to have Patty join us and tell us about the different areas of Jacksonville and things to do. And then after that, we'll have Crystal Imhoff from Jacksonville Rental Finders, and that's another great service. I often recommend this to our students who are looking for housing options. Crystal and her team do a wonderful job of recommending different apartment complexes in the area, just places to live, amenities at the different complexes and things like that. So we'll hear from both of them, and if you guys do have questions throughout, please feel free, don't hesitate, ask your questions in the sidebar, and our guest presenters would be more than happy to answer the questions for you before they sign off for the day. So, oh good, it looks like we have another attendee from Boise, Idaho. Awesome. So we definitely have people from all over, and Newark, Delaware. Great. So we'll go ahead and get started. I will turn it over to Patty, but I know first she wants to show a little video. So I'll set up the video and then we will hear from her. So bear with me here as I get this video going for you guys.
Culture.
Startup culture.
Golf culture.
Dining culture.
Art culture.
Scuba culture. Craft beer culture.
History culture.
Nature culture.
Fishing.
Music culture.
Football culture.
What's your culture?
Okay, so hopefully everyone was able to see and hear that video. And now I'll get our guest speaker. All right, here's Patty, so take it over.
Everybody, I hope you hear me. I think my ears having some issues, so I hope we can get it through. I just wanted to show you a little bit of Jacksonville, what we call the job culture. It really involves many different things in the city. If you didn't know, Jacksonville is the largest city by land in the continental U.S. So there's a lot of things that go and that live and that coexist, that form the city. Anything you want to do, if you're a really active person, like being outside, if you're like nature, if you're an adventure junkie, then you can, in the city, you're more relaxed, more chill. If you're to the arts, you can get that culture in here. So if you like water, we have the landing city in the state of Florida. So anything that has to do with being outdoors, do it here. Education, we have several universities in the city. There's so many happening. I feel sometimes it can be overwhelming for people to even know, describe Jacksonville can be. So that's why I'm here. So I am the communication specialist here at Visit Jackson. And what we do is we are the Visitors Bureau for the city of Jacksonville. We promote everything there is to see and explore and experience the city of Jacksonville. So tons of time people are coming to the city and they ask me, like, what is there to do in Jacksonville? I never even heard about it. I drove by once, and that's kind of all I know about Jacksonville. So they come to me and give you tons of answers about it. So like I said, Jacksonville is the largest city by land mass in the continental U.S. We have over 500 different neighborhoods, but really with the city down to about 5 different neighborhoods. The beaches, you have the south side, you have in Avondale, that's one. You have San Marco, and then you have the north side. South side is pretty much suburbia, where you can find your malls and all your chain restaurants, modern apartment complexes, some of the biggest attractions, water parks, bowling alleys, your movie theater, that kind of vibe to that neighborhood. At the beaches, it really is its own city, its own field of its own. We have about 22 miles of beaches in the city of Jacksonville. It is a 15-minute drive from downtown, about a 25-minute drive from the airport. The beaches, the vibe is very relaxed, very young, very much college students. Tons of bars, restaurants, places to go surfing, places to rent equipment to go paddleboarding or kayaking, flip-flops and shorts kind of vibe to it. Then you come closer to downtown and you have all the historic neighborhoods. So you have Avondale, Riverside, and San Marco, and they're old. They are all, not old, all very eclectic and hip, a little bit more bohemian, or your farm-to-table restaurants, or your locally owned boutique stores, shops, if you want to take a bike tour, or historic neighborhoods, if you want to tour old houses, if you want to see repurposed buildings, old buildings are now turned into galleries or museums. That's the vibe in this neighborhood. Very, very walkable. Tons of arts markets and farmers market. It is a very different vibe than you might get at the beach or that you might get downtown. And then we're going onto other sides of the city, like the north side where the airport is, and some of our bigger attractions are there. The zoo is there, Keck Ranch, it's more nature, or some other more kind of unique beaches are located in that area as well. We have the Timaquan Preserve, which is 46,000 acres of ginger. So we guided tours with guides, out there. There are many different activities that can happen. Everything revolves around nature, kind of in the north side area. So really, there's tons of opportunities to be active, tons of opportunities to do stuff. But I feel like any other city, Jacksonville City, where it's a experience, and it is what you make of it. So if you have fun, like go out, you like to meet new people, then this is a place for you. Really becomes what you make of it. I can tell you some of our bigger attractions and things to do. We just launched about 6 months ago the Jack's Ale Trail, which is a self-guided tour of Jacksonville's 8 craft breweries. Craft breweries very big for the city, very big in the state. So we have about 8 craft breweries now, 2 more coming next year, and the Jacksonville Trail is just this little adorable passport. It takes you around all the city. They're all in different neighborhoods, so it gives you a real good chance to see what every single pocket of the city has to offer. If you have pets, they're all pet friendly. They all work with either local restaurants or local food trucks to combine, the taste of beer and the taste of food. So there's stuff to do around there. Like I said, we have 22 miles of beaches. So really anything from your fun beach where everybody's hanging out by the pier, where it's loud and there's music, to beaches where it's a little more hidden. So it might take, 40 minutes to get there. And then when you get there, it's secluded. There's nobody there. White sandy beaches, more relaxing. We have 2 Navy bases. So there's a really large military presence in the city. We host, I think we were counting it a few weeks ago, and it's over 20 different music festivals, anything from huge music festivals like the Florida Country Superfest, which happens every June, to smaller festivals at the beaches. Some of them are, rap music, jazz music. We have a jazz series during the summer happening at the beach. There's folk music, there's original music. So really there's tons of opportunities if you're a music fan to do something and see a big act come to the city. Because Jacksonville is so centrically located, not just in the southeast, but within the state as well. Even though we are kind of like the northern point of the state of Florida, we have both I-95 and I-10 that run right through here. So those are 2 major intersections, 2 major highways that run right through the city. About 5 hours from Atlanta, 5 hours from Miami, 2 hours from Orlando, 3 hours from Tampa. So sometimes there's big acts. They come here because they know they're going to get the people from Georgia and the people from South Florida. So there's a big opportunity to see large musical acts in here. Huge sports city as well. We are the home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I know the team is not like the best team there ever was, but the fans are fantastic. So tailgating at one of the Jags games, it's kind of like a unique experience. You get people from all over the city, all walks of life, really extremely passionate about the teams. So even if you're not into football, you will be into the whole experience of coming to tailgate for a game. Tickets are the lowest in the league, so they're super affordable. Season begins in August with a preseason in August. Tons of parties and events revolve around that, very affordable. We're also home to a minor league baseball team, and tickets start at $5 there, but their baseball field, it's beautiful. They actually have won their championship for the past 2 years, so they're a really good team. Great sport in there. They have Thirsty Thursdays, which is a $1 beer and like 50-cent hot dog. So really, it's a really affordable thing to do. We also have an indoor arena football team, a basketball team, all minor league, and we just got a soccer team as well. So tons of opportunities for sports. There's always something going on, always a game, always a fun date idea if you would like that, and then pretty affordable, which I think is the key to the city. Jacksonville has the lowest hotel rates in the state of Florida, so that makes us a pretty affordable destination. So tourism is a big draw for the city. We host about 10 million tourists a year. I lived in other places. I lived in Miami, and comparing it traffic-wise, I would say there is no traffic here. But during the summer, you can actually feel it when people are coming into town and exploring the beaches, which is the most popular destination for summer. What else can I tell you? There's so much stuff. If you have any questions, please write them up and I'll try to answer as best I can. For young families, if you're coming here for law school and you're coming with a young family, I would recommend one of our historic neighborhoods. It's super walkable, super friendly. It really feels like a southern city in a southern neighborhood. Very welcoming, kind of people say hello in the streets, that kind of thing. If you are young and active and you are here to study really hard, but also make tons of friends and just, explore the city, I would say either the beach or you may want to venture out into downtown. There's a new subdivision called Brooklyn, all new, brand new apartments, beautiful, really affordable. And then if you're a little more hip, I could say. You could venture into the historic neighborhoods. They have tons of older homes that are now refinished and refurbished into apartments and duplexes and that kind of thing. And just the vibes of the neighborhood makes it really appealing to younger people. Jacksonville has the youngest population in the state of Florida, so our median age is about 35. Sure, so somebody just wrote, can I downtown and how it's really accessible and welcoming to? Sure thing. So downtown Jacksonville, you can get to it straight from I-95. It comes right through the heart of the city. It is about 16 blocks. That's what we call the urban core. It houses everything from City Hall to two of our top museums in the city. It has transportation is fantastic. It has the Skyway, which connects the South Bank to the North Bank. So downtown Jacksonville, divided by the St. Johns River. It not only serves a beautiful purpose for pictures, because you can get amazing pictures from here, but there's businesses on both sides of the river. So to connect the boat, there's their Skyway. It's free, and it's been free for multiple years. Very fun, fast to ride around it. Downtown, on a daily basis, it has about 50,000 people that work here, but only about 2,000 people actually live in downtown Jacksonville. So you can kind of sense the difference after happy hour, kind of what the mood is, but still it is a very dynamic center for conventions. The Prime Osborne Convention Center is here. So are Jacksonville's main convention hotels. So there's always people walking around, kind of always busy. Every first Wednesday of the month, they hold Art Walk. So it's coming up next week, actually. The theme for summer, barbecue, but every single month has a different theme. About 20,000 people are here every first Wednesday of the month to explore Art Walk. It's fun. There's live music. There's food. Hemming Park sits in the middle of the city. It's Jacksonville's oldest park, and it actually has every single day of the year, there's something happening in it. So either if you come here by a weekend, there'll be a festival, a music festival, a food festival, a flower festival, something happening. And during the days, there's live music, there's food trucks. So it's just gives you a real sense of community, even though you're in urban downtown, which actually tons of people work here, but it feels like a neighborhood, which is great. MoCA Jacksonville is here. The Museum of Contemporary Art is about 5 stories of just modern art. It's beautiful, very well curated. It has a restaurant in the bottom of it, which is fun to do. It's free every Thursday. Then on the other side of the river on the South Bank is MOSH, which is the Museum of Science and History. Very family friendly. If you have small children, this will be the place to take them. And even if you don't, then they have, every Friday night, they have $5 access, and then they do a mosh after dark, and it usually has to do something with booze and beer and how to, the science behind how to make wine or the science behind certain kind of food. So it lends itself to be a really good kind of networking and mingling events in there every mosh after dark. Then I was telling you about that new subdivision called Brooklyn. It's only about a mile from downtown, so it's still considered downtown Jacksonville, and they have 2 whole new apartment complexes there, and both of them have programming. There's an area there that is just programmed specifically for well-being and health. So tons of races, small runs, bike rides, opportunities to get in the river and go kayaking, that kind of thing. So it's a new way for people to get active, and that is not even a mile from downtown Jacksonville. Also in downtown, it's our city leaders are here about a block from my building, and our visitor centers also sit downtown on Laura Street, and you can come here and ask anything from, I have a couple of free hours, what can I do? Or I need tickets to an attraction, where should I get them? That kind of thing. So we provide all that information. I live in San Marco, which is only a bridge away from downtown. Very active, walkable, historic neighborhood. Tons of farm-to-table restaurants, smaller kind of cocktail lounges. 2 breweries are there as well. So there's always something to do. I feel very safe. I walk my dog in the middle of the night. That kind of neighborhood vibe to it, which I really enjoy. I don't know. What else can I tell you guys? There's so much stuff. So, that's kind of the sense of downtown and the neighborhoods around it. I know Jacksonville can, if you're looking at it on a map and you've never seen it before, it can be a a little bit overwhelming to be like, oh my God, where do I live in this brand new gigantic city? But once you're here, you can really see that the city is really easy to navigate. I-95 runs right through it. And then 295 is a loop that goes around the city and connects all the neighborhoods, bypassing 95 if there happens to be any traffic in it anyways. Like I say, downtown is where I-10 and I-95 converge. So, always an opportunity to go anywhere around the city. And then if you head to the north side, it's where the airport's at. I'm about 15 minutes from here. The city is pretty active. I would say it's our number one word that we use to describe the city. And I think active, it's in like a wide variety of senses. There's so much stuff to do at any given time in so many different categories. But I think being active is the number one. It's sunny about 270 days out of the year. Our median temperature is about 75 degrees. We do get a little colder in the winters. We have Florida seasons, which is fantastic. But there's still opportunities. It's great for fishing during the colder months. And then also great for fishing during the summer months, which is fantastic. We're actually hosting the Kingfish Festival, which is the largest of its kind in the entire world, next weekend. And like that, there's festivals all the time. There's a new one that I recommend. Even if you are not going to be here in the spring, you should come to Jacksonville for the One Spark Festival. Happens every April. It is an innovation festival, and it takes over downtown Jacksonville for six days. They did it last year, 6 days. And if you have an idea, if you have a project, if you have a prototype, if you have a business and you want to get exposure for it and notoriety for it, you bring it to downtown Jacksonville. And for 6 days, you get to present it to the world. Last year we had over 300,000 people come to downtown for those 6 days. And it's a crowdfunding festival. So you come here, you pitch your story, and you may win, part of the $250,000 pot that they're giving out for you to develop your idea. So it's really fun for the people who come here to present their ideas, extra fun for the people that are coming here to just check out downtown Jacksonville. The city really is dressed up for it. They make a beer for it. You can drink in the street, which is real fun. You can, see live performances. There's art galleries pop up everywhere. There's a One Spark After Dark with live music. They bring national acts to perform during it. It's all free. It's all open to the public. It's just another opportunity to show the city in its new as this new hub for innovation and creativity and activity. So all that is happening every April. And then really kick off from April on until the end of the summer with festival after festival. 4th of July here is fantastic. They do fireworks both at the beaches and downtown. So next weekend will be huge here in Jacksonville. What else do we do? Well, the Jax Games, and that brings sports into it. And then there's a few marathons that run here if you are a runner. The 26.2 with Donna is the only marathon in the world that gives all its profits to breast cancer. So that happens here as well. And I actually a little video that shows a little bit about activity and running and that kind of thing. So if we can play that so you guys can take a look at just how active Jacksonville can be, that would be awesome.
I am Dawn Ticia Seymour, fitness enthusiast, CEO and founder of Mobile Grip Gear. I'm a runner. I'm a Jacksonville runner. I love running the bridges. Because I'm a downtown resident and I grew up in Springfield, I've been exposed to the bridges all of my life. I love the water and I love just the people and the atmosphere and the energy of downtown, but I also love the park system that we have here in Jacksonville. So on any given Sunday, you can find me in Memorial Park doing yoga with about 30 other residents. It's an amazing time. The energy from the yoga, the people, the community is just great. And then also, I cycle. Not as often as I do the other two things, but I do love to cycle occasionally. And when I do want to cycle, I come out here to the Baldwin Trails. It's a trail that's 14 miles long, so it's for the novice, it's for the experienced, it's for the advanced, it's for families and friends. It's really just a good time for anyone in Jacksonville looking to kind of get away from the city and come out here and get active. I definitely say that Jacksonville is an active city with access to the beaches, to the water, this beautiful weather. It's a perfect place for people to get outside and be outside and to be active and to interact with their community and their neighbors and their families and their friends. And that can be done in many different ways. We have our beaches where they're surfing and they're swimming. We have beautiful weather year-round. We also have this beautiful access to greenery, like the bike trails, like the park systems. There's something for everyone. It doesn't matter what you like doing. You can pretty much find any activity or sport that you are comfortable with. Be it for health reasons, if you want to get outside because you're health conscious and you just want to be healthier, live a healthier lifestyle. If you want to just have some quality time with your family and your friends and your community, there's no better place to do it.
Great, that was really helpful. Thank you so much, Patty. I think you gave us all so much information. It was really great to hear. I mean, I've lived in the Jacksonville area for over 3 years now, and a lot of that was really helpful to me as well, and just getting to know the community even more. So I think that is absolutely fabulous. And if everyone can just keep in mind all of the different opportunities here, as Patty mentioned, there's arts and culture, sports, outdoor activities, history, dining, innovation, and just all of that is really fabulous to have right at your back door. So thank you so much, Patty. And if anyone has any further questions for Patty or that I could answer about the Jacksonville area, please feel free, just let us know. Oh, perfect. There's Patty's email address. So if you guys need to use that, then feel free to do so. And we really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. So I will go ahead and turn it over to Crystal now. Crystal, I'll bring your PowerPoint back, and then you can get started. And Crystal, again, is from Jacksonville Rental Finders. So she's going to talk a little bit about how to go about finding housing, the different amenities that you can look for, and the way that Jacksonville Rental Finders can really help you in that search. So Crystal, I'll turn it over to you as I get your PowerPoint going.
Okay, awesome. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, it sounds great.
Okay, awesome.
All right, there we go.
Okay, thanks. All right, so as Megan said, I'm with Jacksonville Rental Finders, and we are a free service here for the law students. We work with hundreds of apartments in the area, so we kind of know the ins and outs of the communities. We have privately owned condos, townhomes, single-family homes, and again, the apartment communities. So our purpose here is to kind of speak with you, kind of go through what you're looking for, what your needs are, your price point, the location, your move date, features, amenities, and kind of help walk you through, the best options for you. So that way you're not arriving into town and, searching through hundreds of apartments trying to figure out what actually fits what you're looking for. So I've put together a little presentation here to hopefully help outline some of the key points. So if you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to type them in the chat menu and I'll try to stop and address them as I go through this. But as I mentioned, we are a free service to students. We help all the students find housing here in the area. With the apartment communities, we basically serve as a referral source. And then we have tons of owners that we've worked with for years and years that we rent out their condos, townhomes, and single family homes. You've probably been reached out to by one of the agents here in our office. If you have not been able to connect or have not been reached out yet, please give us a call. Our number is there on the PowerPoint, and we can definitely start working on some rental options for you right away. So basically, first thing, location. Patty did an excellent job going through Jacksonville and the different areas. The law school is located in the South Side area, which I know she didn't kind of hit on too much. Most of the communities she talked about were like downtown, Riverside, San Marco, which are about 15 minutes north of the law school. She also touched on the beaches, which is a really fun area. But where the law school is located in the South Side, there is a ton of housing options. There's a ton of restaurants, shops, grocery stores, banks, everything you need right around the law school. I know I've been working with the law school for many years, and one of the big key questions the students have is, what is the closest to the school? You guys spend a lot of time there, a lot of time studying, so you want to be kind of a quick commute. The closest apartment to the law school is about 2 miles. But as I said, it's located right off of Bay Meadows Boulevard, which is just off of 95. So it's very centrally located. So you can really get to downtown in 15 minutes. The beach is 10 to 15 minutes. And there's plenty to do right here in this area as well. Another big question we get is students moving from larger cities may or may not have their own means of transportation. Did we lose the PowerPoint? Okay, thank you. So transportation, a big question. If you have the ability to bring your own transportation, I would highly recommend it. Jacksonville is one of the larger cities, land mass wise, so everything is very spread out. As I mentioned, the closest apartment is about 2 miles from the law school, as is like the closest grocery store. There is a bus system that runs around and through the South Side and Jacksonville area. It's called JTA, Jacksonville Transit Authority. This is an option. I have had law students in the past rely on this as their means of transportation, but again, it's not really recommended, as you would probably have to take a couple different routes to get to and from the law school. Okay, so I wanted to kind of go into just the different price points. Obviously, this is huge in deciding, where you're going to be attending and to come up with a budget, what you're comfortable spending. So in the Southside area where the law school is located, most of the 1-bedrooms starting price is around $650, and you can really go as high as $1,100 or so for a brand new luxury style community. Those luxury properties are going to feature, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, very high-end amenities. They're going to be gated and, just very luxury style. Whereas some of these older properties are very great options as well. They're just more affordable and they're not going to have all the lavish upgrades as the newer communities do. In this picture here, this is just an example of one of the less expensive options that would probably start in the $650 to $700 price range. And this one is just over 2 miles from the law school. These all properties here in Jacksonville are pretty much going to have a swimming pool and a fitness center. That's pretty much standard. The more luxury style communities will have amenities such as a theater room, indoor basketball, like a more extensive fitness center, pool tables, the whole 9 yards. Most properties that are, older and that fall into the $600 to $750 price range are not going to be gated. That's something that is more common amongst the more luxury style communities. This is just an example of that same property I just showed you. This is one of their kitchens. So you can see it's just got the white appliances, the white cabinetry. A lot of these communities do have like a laminate style wood flooring in the kitchens and bathrooms. These properties a lot of times do not include your washer and dryer. They will either have hookups. Some do have washer and dryer included, but some just have connections where you can either provide your own set or you can rent a set. And we can provide you companies that do the rentals for that. This is that same community, just a very basic picture of the living room area. This is a second option, a very popular one amongst the students. It is very close to the law school as well. This is one of the lower end, but yet it is gated and has a little bit more upgrade styles inside. You can see these kitchens have the black appliances and a black Formica countertop. So it's got a little bit newer upgraded feel. This particular community as well includes washer and dryer in every unit, and they, as I mentioned, they are gated. So there are definitely some different options, and we can kind of tailor it to the options that best fit what you're looking for, what you're looking to spend. So that's why it's really important to speak with one of the agents here. It's just much easier to talk to you and kind of go over your needs and put together the options that best fit what you're needing. A lot of the older communities do have fireplaces. Being in Florida and it's very hot, that's not something that's very common amongst the newer communities, but the communities that were built in like the late 80s, early 90s, you do find that a lot of times there. Again, feel free to stop me if you guys have any questions. Okay, so this is an example of a more luxury style community. This community is actually brand new, beautiful, probably one of the nicest ones in the area. I did see a question here about furnished options, Stacy, and we will definitely get to that. I have a slide in here about the furnishings, so I'll mention on that in just a minute. But the more luxury style communities, as I mentioned before, they have the granite, stainless steel, laminate wood floor option, meaning a lot of times it's like a ground floor unit that you would have to select in order to get a laminate wood flooring option. But again, you will pay a premium for that. The amenities are more lavish, the swimming pools, the hot tubs, fitness centers, theater rooms, indoor basketball courts. And again, these communities are gated. And typically the price points for these higher end communities are going to be around $900 to $1,100. And a lot of times it will depend on their specials that they're running. Here is a photo of an interior of that same property I just showed you. You can see they've got the dark cabinetry, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops. This particular community even has like a concrete flooring, which is kind of cool. It's a very modern feel. This is that same community, the living room. This is a second option that we would say runs into the luxury style category. There's a couple communities that are 4 stories that feature elevators. So most of the communities that are 2 or 3 stories, obviously they're not going to have an elevator. And most of them do have just parking, street parking there in the community. A lot of times you can rent a garage if that's something you're needing. Typically they run closer to $100 a month for a garage rental, but you will have a spot right out there. Some communities have assigned parking, some have open parking where it's first come, first serve. So again, we can kind of give you more details on that once we've narrowed down your search. This is just another interior shot. You can see this community has stainless steel, but doesn't have the granite, but still very nice high-end property. And just to kind of touch on 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, because I know not everybody needs a 1-bedroom, we have some less expensive options in those same communities that I initially showed you. The 2 bedrooms in those properties are going to start in the $800 and kind of work on up from there. The more luxury style communities, you're going to find that their 2 bedrooms start around $12 and kind of work on up from that price point. 3 bedrooms, again, the lesser expensive options in the South Side area, you can find starting around $1,100, with the more luxury style starting around $1,400 a month. Daily pricing is something I definitely wanted to touch on, because I know from being out of the area, it's kind of an odd thing to some people when they come in and tour. A lot of the communities are what they call daily pricing. This means basically that the prices change from day to day. Their specials are built into this system along with their availability. The best way for me to kind of describe it is kind of like buying an airline ticket. If you go online one day and you search the prices, you may come up with a great rate, but that same airline, same trip, and a week from now might be a little bit more expensive. So a lot of it has to do with like supply and demand, what they have coming available. With August being a very busy time with all the students, we definitely recommend as we're kind of approaching the 1st of July at this point, it's a really good idea to try to go ahead and get an apartment reserved for, the 1st or 2nd week of August, as they will start filling up. And as they have, fewer and fewer apartment options available, their prices will tend to increase. What we like to do with the students is when we first speak with you, we kind of go through a full needs assessment, kind of going over what you're looking for. We will send you a presentation with a bunch of different options that kind of fit your criteria. And then at that point, we try to help you narrow down the search to maybe, 3 or 4 options that, you're really leaning toward. A lot of students do come into town for the Accepted Students Day or just a tour for housing, but there are a good amount of students, that are moving from very far away that can't do that, and they decide to come and lease something sight unseen, which is absolutely doable. The apartment community will work with you to get the application process, the lease agreement done. So it's definitely an option. So don't feel like you have to come in and tour. But we like to get the pricing, as close to your tour date or the time when you're going to be reserving the unit, because it does change day to day. So typically if I have a student coming in to tour on a weekend, I would get that apartment pricing for them Friday afternoon, get that over to them. So that way it's pretty accurate for when they tour. Another big question that I get from a lot of students is what's included. I know in some different areas, I actually had a student I spoke to last week from Chicago, and a lot of this was like totally different to him. A lot of the condo communities included some utilities, but here in Jacksonville, your electric, water, and sewer are typically the renter's responsibility. It's not included in the rental, so you'll definitely want to budget that in. They're typically billed through separate companies. The electric provider here in the area is JEA. And then depending on the community, the water company may be JEA, but it may be billed through a separate company as well. A lot of people ask about cable and internet. Big provider here is Comcast, Xfinity. There is also DirecTV if you prefer satellite, and then there's also AT&T Uverse, but they are not accepted everywhere. So you kind of have to check in with the address of the property you're looking at to see if that would be an option for you. But that is something you will have to set up separately. The apartments are all cable ready, but you do have to pay for your service. With the apartment communities, there are sometimes a few additional fees that are built into your rental amount. You'll sometimes find pest control and trash fees built into the price. So if a price is $900, they may add $15 for those two things. So just kind of keep that in mind. Condos and townhomes are definitely a little bit different than the apartment communities, and that is definitely something that is an option for you. The rental rate is, what the rate is. That you are not responsible for HOA fees. You are responsible for your utilities. And the security deposit is typically higher. With a privately owned condo rental, you are looking at a 1-month security deposit that's due up front. It is fully refundable. It's held for damages. So it's something you will typically get back at the end as long as you return the unit in the same condition which you receive it in. So, not everybody's looking for an apartment. Some people might want a house or a condo or a townhome. So kind of keep in mind, we do have those options available. And that is something you can definitely do, but it's a little bit higher move-in cost versus the apartments. Sticking with the move-in fees, a lot of students ask, what do I need to get in, or how much is this going to cost me? Application fees across the board are typically around $50. Whether you're going with an apartment community or a condo rental, it's usually $50 per adult, and you submit that along with your application. The apartment communities charge administrative fees, usually anywhere from $100 to $200. Security deposits are typically $100 to 1 full month's rent, and that is just based upon credit. The apartment communities a lot of times will run specials where they will reduce the admin fee or they will waive the security deposit with approved credit. And those are things that our agents here can update you guys on as we're getting closer to you coming into town to reserve your community. So just kind of keep that in mind. That is very case by case. Every apartment's a little bit different. Pet fees and pet rent is very common here. A lot of the communities do have breed and weight restrictions, and typically a 2-pet maximum. So if you have pets, definitely want to kind of go over what type of pets you're bringing, the weights, the breeds with your rental agent, just so they can factor that in when they're doing their search for you. Some communities are very pet friendly and they don't have weight restrictions, but then there are a few communities that, will only allow a 25-pound pet. There are some apartments that do charge a pet rent, which some people sometimes, want to steer away from because they don't want to pay that additional fee monthly. So just kind of keep that in mind if you are bringing pets with you. A lot of the communities are very pet friendly, but there will be some fees associated with the pet. As far as qualifying, with you being a full-time student, and I know you're not really supposed to be working your first year, when you apply for your apartment, the apartment communities will do a credit and background check, and they will verify your prior rental history as well as your income. Since you will not be working, most of the apartment communities allow their students to use their financial aid reward letter. And so you'll want to make sure you have that with you when you reserve a unit. Some communities are a little bit more strict and may require a cosigner. A majority of them are okay and are very familiar with the law students here in the area, so we typically don't run into that issue. But as a backup, if a parent or friend would be able to cosign for you, that is also an option. Let's see here. Okay, so reserving apartment. A lot of people are like, when should I do this? What's a good time? The apartment communities get their notices from their current residents about 60 days out. So like I said, we're approaching that July 1st timeframe right now, and I know the majority of the students are trying to move and get settled within that first or second week of August. So really, if you guys have not reserved an apartment just yet, it's a great time to go ahead and get started with that, as they will start filling up, and you just want to make sure you've got one, reserved for you. So 45 to 60 days out is a great time for the people that will be attending in the spring. Just kind of keep that in mind. You'll want to contact us about 40 to 60 days out so we can begin your search for you. Furnishings. I know Stacy had asked about this. So the apartments here in the area do come unfurnished. Condo options will be unfurnished as well. We work very closely with Court Furniture, and they will basically come in, set up your apartment for you, completely furnish it. You'll kind of work with them to tailor the package you'd like. They have student pricing, and you can add certain things to your packages. And then at the end of your lease term, they will come and break it down. So it's very easy, and that is definitely an option. And like I said, we can provide you, we'll have a representative from Court contact you directly and kind of walk you through the process and help you pick out the package that best fits your needs. This is just kind of like an average rental rate to kind of give you an idea what you can expect for a student package. One bedrooms are typically going to run around $139 a month for the furniture rentals. Two bedrooms around $194, and three bedrooms you see run closer to $282 a month. And what I've had kind of included below is what comes in your standard package. Your living room will include a sofa, a chair, coffee table, end table, and a lamp. Dining room typically has a table with 4 chairs. And then the bedroom, you'll have a dresser, a mirror, a nightstand, a lamp, and a bed and a headboard. So there are additional things. You can rent TVs, dishware if you need that, but just keep in mind that will be factored into the price point. So, and then what we're doing, Jacksonville Rental Finders, like I said to you before, our service is completely free. When you do tour the apartment communities, or if you should call the communities ahead of time, we do ask that you let them know that you are working and were referred there by Jacksonville Rental Finders. That is how we get credit for our service. And what we're doing is for the law students to kind of help offset that move-in cost, for every student that lists us on their application, we are going to reimburse you with a $50 Visa gift card at move-in. That will kind of offset the cost of your application fee. So, and that's really it. Do you guys have any additional questions for me?
Great. Thank you so much, Crystal.
Yeah.
I think you answered a lot of questions that I hear students ask most of the time, things about pricing and about, what is going to be the difference between getting a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom or gated community, not gated. So that was really helpful, I think. Does anyone have anything further for Crystal? If you do in the future, she has the information here on the slide with Jacksonville Rental Finders address, phone number, and website. So if you guys have questions, I highly recommend reaching out to them. As Crystal said, it is a free service, and they do a wonderful job really helping our students find somewhere that really meets their needs. All right, so Crystal, I guess no one has anything for you right now, so thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Call me or email me anytime if you guys have any questions at all. We're definitely here to help.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, So I'll change the slide here now, and this is my email address and phone number here at Coastal. I am an admissions counselor, so I can definitely help out as well in the transition to law school, questions about the area, about housing and stuff. I can answer those basic ones, and if it gets more detailed, then I'll pass you along to someone like Crystal. But as she mentioned, the South Side area is closest to the school, and that's where the majority of our students do choose to live. There are a lot of great housing options, and hopefully you all will be able to find something here in the area and be really happy living in Jacksonville. So if you do have any further questions in the future, we look forward to speaking with you. But until then, I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks for joining us.